Good afternoon, everyone. A very, very warm welcome to each one of you joining us today. So, my name is Prachi Shukla from TBO Academy, and I'm absolutely delighted to host another exciting session with you all. Before moving ahead, could you all please give me a thumbs up if I'm audible to you all? You can write yes or a thumbs up. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, hoping I'm audible loud and clear. That's great. Okay, so today's webinar is all about Western Australia, a land of striking contrast. So, where pristine beaches meet dramatic outback landscapes, it's a home for to world-renowned vineyards. Then you have unforgettable food. Then you have wine experiences from vibrant coral reefs and some of the most extraordinary wildlife, of course. Also, from vibrant city of Perth to the premium vineyards of Margaret River, from swimming with the gentle whale sharks at Ningaloo Reef to discovering the awe-inspiring wilderness of the Kimberley. Western Australia truly offers everything that you would ever need. And to take us through this incredible journey today, we are joined by our expert partner, Rashmi Pradhan, who is the Market Manager India for Tourism Western Australia. Of course, she will bring a wealth of knowledge about Western Australia, and she'll walk us through everything that you and I both need to know, from key insights, highlights to selling tips, maybe the insider experiences, and how to position Western Australia as a must visit destination for your clients. So, without further ado, I would request Rashmi to take over the stage, and just one important information that after the presentation we will be going to have our Q&A session, so please feel free to mention every doubt that you might have in the chat box or in the Q&A session, and be very attentive if you want to win exclusive Western Australia goodie bags, because after the Q&A session we will be going to have our quiz, and you will have a chance to win those exclusive goodies. Rashmi?
Thank you so much, Prachi. And good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rashmi Pradhan, and I'm the market manager for Tourism Western Australia in India. Thank you, TBO Academy, for hosting this webinar. And I could see in the participant list, there are many familiar names. So for those who know Western Australia, which is the largest state in Australia, a dream state, it's kind of a refresher course, I would say. And for those who have joined the webinar for the first time, here is a place where you step outside of the everyday into a dream, a place where reality and otherworldly combine. That's Western Australia. Cool. So without further ado, I'll just make the presentation. So what I'll do, I'll make the presentation. It will have some videos. I will also go through a couple of itineraries. Then we'll have a Q&A session, and then we'll have a quiz. So while I'm making the presentation, if you guys have any queries, please feel free to drop the questions on the chat box. I will take up all the questions at the end of the presentation. Also, yeah, so more or less the presentation will cover everything. However, still, if I have missed out on making any, showing any slide, you can just let me know in the chat box. Okay, so let's start. Cool. Okay. So Prachi, is my screen visible?
Yes, Rashmi.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So let's start. Okay, as I've introduced myself, I'm going to show you a small video which talks about or which reflects the beauty of our state, and then we'll move to the destination presentation.
Is it real now? I can feel it. Walking on a dream. How can I explain? Talking to myself. Will I see again? We are always running for the thrill of it, thrill of it. Always pushing up the field, searching for the thrill of it. On and on we are going out and out again. Never looking down just to know what's in front of me. Is it real now? Could you become walking on a dream?
Yeah. So, walking on a dream is our global tagline, or you can say global brand campaign for Tourism Western Australia. As I said, sometimes you feel like in a dream world, sometimes you feel like you're in a real world. Now, talking about the state, we are the largest state in Australia, and we cover 1/3 of Australia. Being the largest state, we do have the longest coastline, which is 12,000 kilometers. And if I compare Western Australia to India, then in size, Western Australia is 2.5 million square kilometers. However, India is 3.2 million square kilometers. Although we are the largest state, however, the population is just 2.8 million. And compared to India, which is 1.4 billion, the main thing is we do have lots of Indians staying in WA. We have over 50,000 Indians staying in WA and over 10,000 students in WA. Hence, we have a good mix of VFR, that is visiting friends and relatives, leisure clientele, and also MICE. Talking about the seasons, what you experience in the eastern side of Australia, the same seasons we do have. So currently we are sitting in spring, which is September to November, followed by summer, which is from December to February, wherein the temperature hovers around, say, 35 to 40 degrees. Then we have autumn, which is from March to May, and then winter from June to August. So I would say the best time to visit will be throughout the year. However, Jan end and Feb becomes a bit hotter in the state. Yeah. So talking about the climate, this region receives the Mediterranean climate, which is the four season, as I just explained. However, when you go up in the north of WA, which is Western Australia, we have only two weathers, which is wet and the dry. So the wet being the summer season, which is from October to March, and then the dry would be the winters. Now, talking about the connectivity, we are the western gateway to Australia. We are also the nearest state in Australia to India. The time difference is just 2.5 hours ahead of India, and we share the same time zone as Singapore and Malaysia. So in terms of connectivity, if you take the connecting flight from Singapore, it is just 4.5 hours. And if you take the connecting flight from Malaysia, that is Kul, which is 5.5 hours. Hence, the preferred airlines, if you're connecting from Singapore, would be Singapore Airlines, Scoot, Qantas, Jetstar. And if you're connecting from Malaysia, it would be Malaysia Airlines and Batik Air. So, since it is just 4.5 hours, still it's closer to home, and hence I would suggest whenever you are making your itinerary, what you can do is you can enter from Perth and then exit from the eastern states, whichever it is, maybe Brisbane, Sydney, or Melbourne. Or if you want, you can enter from the eastern side, any of the states, and then you can exit from Perth and come to India. I would request that whenever you are making an itinerary for Western Australia, do not put Perth in between Sydney and Melbourne. Either you make Perth as your entry point or your exit point for the convenience of travel and also for the convenience of the flight. So the state has 5 regions. That is Destination Perth, which is also the capital. And then we have the Southwest, which is just 2.5 hours drive from Perth, which is popular for the Margaret River region, which is the wine region. Besides that, we also have many other things in the region, which I will go on further slides. Then you go up a bit, wherein we have the Coral Coast region, which is also known and popular for the Ninglu Reef. From Perth, you have to take a flight to this region, wherein the airport is Larmouth, which is Exmouth, which is 2 hours by flight. We go still further up, which is the third region, which is the Australia's northwest, wherein you have Broome, Kimberley area. And from Perth, you take a flight to Broome, which would be 2.5 hours. Then we come here, this region, which is the Golden Outback region, which is also the largest region in WA, wherein from Perth, if you take a flight to Golden Outback, which would be Esperance, it would be around 1.5 hours. So over the years, what we have seen is Perth is being experienced by the Indian travelers. We have also seen people who are doing self-drive to this southwest region because it's just 2.5 hours drive from Perth. And there are some, I would say, adventurous traveler who are also experiencing the Coral Coast region as well as the Golden Outback region. There are times they do drive, one-way drive or one-way, they'll take a flight, or there are times they are doing the entire Coral Coast region by drive. We drive on the same side of the road and Indian license is very much valid in WA. Now, talking about the nature's calendar, throughout the year, you can swim with the manta rays. You can see the manta rays. Throughout the year, you have amazing food and wine, dolphins, kangaroos, and the quokkas. Starting Jan, you can see the orcas coming in the outback region. Then from February, this season up will start and you can see the dolphins over there. Starting March, the humpback whale season starts. So, and from April, the season in the Northwest, that will be a season for the cruise and also for the horizontal fall starts. And the season here up in the North will start in April and will go up till September, October. Yeah. So in May, you still find the same season. And starting from June, you can see the wildflowers coming from at the top, that is the Coral Coast region. As we go ahead of the month, you can see the wildflower season coming down to Perth and the southwest. Yeah. So from July, you can see the humpback whales and the whale shark season will get over by August. So the whale shark season is from March to August and the humpback whale season starts from August. So you can swim with the humpback whales, you can swim with the whale sharks, you can swim with the manta rays. That would be in this Coral Coast region. As I said, you can see the wildflower season coming down to Perth. Yeah. September still you can swim with the humpback whales. However, by October, there will be less sighting as well as swimming with the humpback whales. And by November, December, we come back to square one. Yeah. Talking about the capital, that is destination Perth. So Perth is just 25 minutes drive from the airport, and we have 19 beaches in Perth. As I said, it is throughout the year you can visit Perth. How to get here is you take any of the international flights. The easy and direct connectivity is Perth. And going around Perth, either you have the Swan taxis, you can hire Uber, you can take the buses. So this is the bus route, and it's also known as CAT, Central Area Transit. And if you board any of these buses, it is free of charge. So if you want to go from one side to another, you can take these buses. However, it depends if the buses are direct or you have to change the color, because these are like different colors of buses connecting different routes.
Hey Rashmi, I'm sorry to disturb in between.
Hmm.
You have a floating bar in the top. Could you click on the three dots and hide the floating
Yeah.
bar, please?
Okay.
Click three
This,
dots. There's
yeah.
the hide floating bar written in, I think, the fifth
Okay,
or
okay,
sixth
okay, okay.
line.
Is it okay now?
Just a second.
Yeah.
It's great now.
Okay, sorry. Cool. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So, talking about the hotels, you name the brand, we have presence in WA. So, as in Melbourne, you have Crown with Casino. Here in Perth also, we have Crown with Casino. So we have three buildings of Crown: Crown Metropole, Crown Promenade, and Crown Towers. And we have a huge casino for Crown. Then the Ritz-Carlton. The first Ritz-Carlton in Australia was in Perth. And then we have Pan Pac, we have Westin, we have Doubletree, QT, Duxton, Key. So all most of these hotels are in the CBD area. And so you name the brands, say IG, Starwood, Marriott, they all have presence in WA. Now, what you can do and experience in Perth, let's start with Optus Stadium. So Optus Stadium is popular for being the bounciest pitch in the world. We have a capacity of 60,000, and most of the sporting events or live concerts, say, and if the concerts, they do happen in the Optus Stadium. A guest can do the tour of Optus. They can do a Halo tour or Vertigo tour of Optus. Then we have Mata Group, just adjacent to Optus, we have a Mata Group bridge. So you can do a tour of Mata Group in three different ways. Either you just climb 314 steps and climb down, or you climb up till 150 steps and zip line, or you climb the entire 314 steps, then come down and do zip line. So there are different kind of activities or different kind of zip and climb depending upon your interest. You can do. I would say this is a kind of a soft adventure within the city limits. So what you can see, this is the Swan River, which actually borders the entire Perth region. Then we have Perth Mint, which is the oldest mint. A day trip of Perth Mint is always advisable. You can see how the gold bars are made here, and also you can find the Indian god and goddess coin being carved on that thing. So yeah, another day trip would be Swan Valley. So Swan Valley is the nearest wine region in the CBD area. It is just 30 minutes from Perth. You can take a cruise from Perth to Swan Valley region, or you can just take any of the day tours and come to Swan Valley, do the vineyard tour, do wine tasting. Also, once you're on the way to Swan Valley, there is a place called Caversham Wildlife Park. You can stop over at Caversham Wildlife Park, which is popular for amazing Australian wildlife. Since you are in Australia, feeding the kangaroos, taking selfie with the koalas, and also taking the selfie with the wombats. You can see the dolphins, you can see the penguins, all those things you can do at Caversham Wildlife Park. Then we are in Fremantle. So currently, whatever I'm talking about is still a day trip from Perth, which your guest can experience. Coming to Fremantle, Fremantle is the port city, which is again just half an hour from Perth, also known as Frio. What you can do and experience in Fremantle would be, since you can see it's kind of a port city, so amazing water activities you can do. Plus, we have the Fremantle Prison, which is a UNESCO listed site, and a tour of Fremantle Prison is always advisable. The prison has a history because it was built by the convict for the convict. So there is also one tunnel tour of the prison which you can do. An interesting thing to experience, even for the children, for study tours. It's a good place to visit. Besides the Fremantle prison, we also have a Fremantle market, which is open only on Friday, Saturday, Sundays from morning 10 to 6. And you can buy the local souvenirs from the Fremantle markets. Coming to the Rottnest Island, which is also known as Roto, a must visit in your Perth itinerary. So one day you can spend doing the day trip of Perth, maybe Swan, Fremantle, Optus, Matagorrow, Perth Mint. The next day you can dedicate completely for Rottnest Island. Rottnest Island is I would say a paradise in Perth, which is just half an hour from Perth by ferry. This is a car-free zone, and you can only take a ferry to reach Rottnest Island. And once you are in the island, either you take a Segway tour of the island, or take a bus tour of the island, or hire a bicycle, or you can just walk through your way in the island. The island has 63 beaches and 20 bays. You can swim on the beaches. Plus, we also have skydive, snorkeling in the island. Usually, we have seen guests coming maybe in the morning, taking a 9 o'clock ferry and reaching by 9:30 in the island, and taking a 4:30 or 4 o'clock ferry back to Perth. However, we do have hotels, 4-star, 5-star category hotels, wherein you can do an overnight stay in Rottnest Island. So now why this island is so famous is because of this cute little creature called quokka. Quokka are the happiest animal, and the way the dogs pan to keep themselves cool, the quokkas smile and to keep themselves cool. So whenever you are in Rottnest, you have to take a selfie with the quokkas, and these quokkas are available, or you can see them nowhere else on the planets, only in Western Australia. That too, in Rottnest Island, you can see the quokkas. So yeah, so you have to take a selfie with the quokkas whenever you are. You cannot feed them, you cannot touch them, maintain proper distance. So it's a beautiful place to be with your family, friends, and even for the kids. Then we are in Rockingham. Rockingham is just 45 minutes drive from Perth. It's a place which is popular for water sport, water activities, and also swimming with the dolphins, swimming with the sea lions, and amazing food and wine. Coming to the region, which is the Southwest, as I mentioned, this is the region which is popular for the Margaret River region, which is the wine region. Either you take a self-drive, or you take a coach facility, because there are some companies who do have a day trip to the Margaret River region, or you take a seaplane or scenic flight. On the way to Margaret, you will come across, the first point will be the Busselton, and this is a Busselton jetty, which is popular for the longest timber pile jetty in the Southern Hemisphere, and this is 1.8 kilometers long. So what you can do is you can just come over here. We have a train. This is called a red train. You can take the train and go up till this point. You can also walk. Here is the point wherein you have an underwater observatory, wherein you can see over 300 species of marine life. So it all depends if your guests just want to do the walking tour, or if the guests want to do a underwater observatory. So there are different kinds of options you have, whichever is suits your clientele. However, I would suggest family, couple, senior citizen, everybody can go and visit the Basalton Jetty and the underwater observatory. Also, we have a Hilton Garden Inn, which was recently opened next to this Basalton Jetty. So once you are coming from Perth, you can do an overnight stay in Basalton Jetty and move ahead to Margaret River region. Or if you want, you can finish Basalton Jetty and straight away head to Margaret and do an overnight stay, depending upon the time wherein you reach Basalton Jetty. So Margaret River region is popular for being the premium wine region in WA. So 25% of the premium wines in Australia are being produced in Margaret River region. And besides Margaret, as I explained before, we have Swan Valley as well. But Swan Valley is the oldest wine region near to the city, and Margaret is a bit far, but a premium wine region. So you can come here, you can do the wine tasting, you can do a tour of the vineyards. Besides the Margaret River region, besides the wineries, it's also popular for the caves. Then we have a Cape to Cape trek. For those of the Indian travelers who love to trek, they can come to the Cape to Cape trek. They have a full day, they have a half day, they have 4 days, 5 days, that kind of a long trek they have. Yeah, as I was talking about the caves, we have over 100 caves in the Margaret River region. And there are some which is like children friendly. There are some who is like senior citizen friendly. Depending upon your kind of a traveler, you can suggest the cave visit. But I would say it's a must when you are in WA. Now we go up in the Coral Coast region, which is popular for many different things. And the time would be March to October. Either you take a flight from Perth to Geraldine, or you drive down to Geraldine, which is 4.5 hours from Perth, or you take directly a flight to Exmouth, which is 2 hours, or to Monkey Mia. So what all you can see and experience in Coral Coast would be, I would suggest Coral Coast is not a day trip kind of a destination. You always make it a point that you suggest your guests that at least 2 nights they should stay in this region area to explore it. The first thing what you can see and experience in the Coral Coast region would be the pinnacles. These are the limestone formation, and it's just 2 hours drive from Perth. This is the only place in this region which could be done on a day trip. So you take a SIC or you self drive. You can just come here on the way to Pinnacles. You'll stop over at a point called Lancelin, wherein you can do sandboarding, 4WD sand dunes ride, and then you come to the Pinnacles. So for Pinnacles, you come here maybe late afternoon so that you see the Pinnacles in the daylight. Then you do the sunset in Pinnacles, and then you do the stargazing in Pinnacles. So Pinnacles look different during 3 different times. So daytime, in the evening time, and then in the night time. Amazing stargazing you can have in Pinnacles. Yeah, this is how it will look if you are doing a stargazing in Pinnacles. You can actually see the star with your naked eyes. You don't have to have the instrument. It's just like it is as it is so beautiful naturally. Then once you finish Pinnacle, then you go still up ahead from Pinnacles here. This is a place called Kalbari. Kalbari is famous for this skywalk. Plus we have a Z-Bend, Nature's Window. I would say an overnight stay in Kalbari would make sense if you want to do Kalbari and also the Pink Lake. So from Kalbari, you just go maybe 1.5 hours and then you reach the Pink Lake. So the lake is pink by nature. and it depends on which time of the year you are in the pink lake. August, September would be an ideal time wherein the lake is bubblegum pink. Maybe in April, it would be kind of a watermelon pink, April, May. So, depending upon that, however, please do not suggest to your guests to go inside the water. You can just do a scenic flight, you can do a self drive, you can do a buggy ride, the pink lake. Another unique thing which you can do in this region will be the Ninglu Reef region. This is the UNESCO World Heritage Marine Park, and it is the largest fringing reef. Here you can do swim with the humpback whales, swim with the manta rays, and swim with the whale sharks. So all these three activities you can do in the Ninglu Reef. However, you have to book in advance because the time is limited, because the whale shark is from March to July, and then August, September, October is the humpback. So if you want to do those activities, you make sure that you tell the operator in advance and do the booking. Yeah. So you can swim with the gentle whale sharks in the Ninglu Reef region. Now we come to the largest region, which is the Golden Outback region, which is also popular for the Esperance region, which is just 1.5 hours by flight, or you can drive down from Perth, which is just 8 hours. So what feedback I have received is the drive from Perth to Esperance is you can just take 1 or 2 breaks in between, and then you can reach the Esperance region. On the way to Esperance, you will come across this place called Wave Rock, and it's just 4 hours drive from Perth, and you we reach the Wave Rock. So we have waves not only in the sea or beaches, we do have waves on land. Yeah. Then
Rashmi,
yes, please.
just one more moment. Everyone, I would like to tell you in advance that we have the quiz link in the chat box. So in advance, before we complete the presentation and move on to Q&A, you can download the Travel Bytes app in advance so that we do not get any delays.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Rashmi.
Yeah. Okay. Then we have the Lucky Bay, which is the whitest beach in Australia. And here you can also see the kangaroos while you're on the Lucky Bay. There are amazing stay options near the beach. Then we come to the last region, which is the Northwest, which is also mostly visited by, I would say, people who are adventure and who love to explore, hike, trek. As you can see, these two guys are here on a hike. So the season would be from April to October, and either you take a flight from Perth to Broome, which is 2.5 hours, or Kununurra, which is 3 hours from Perth. What you can do and experience here would be the horizontal fall. This is the only horizontal fall in Australia. And you can also do the camel ride at the Cable Beach. And last but not the least, a very natural phenomena known as the staircase to the moon. So this phenomena happens once in a month from April to October, wherein the moon is full, and you will see a view like this. Also, for this, you have to book in advance. In the sense, you need to know which is the month wherein the moon is full, and hence you can see this view. So it's a amazing sight to see, I would say. So these are some of the very unique things what I have shown in my presentation. We have also collaborated with Adam Gilchrist last year for the drives wherein what you can do with a staying in Perth, what all activities or experiences you can do. So Adam was with his son Harry, and they went on a self-drive in Perth. I will just play this video.
I've got the dream day trip planned for you. Oh, no way. Survived. Something about Western Australia, you just feel like you see more of the sky.
I mean, how good are these day trips?
More like dream trips. I've
Okay. So let me take you through a couple of itineraries, which will just give you a brief about whatever I have spoken so far and how you can design and put it in an itinerary format. Perth is also known as the sunniest capital city. So I spoke about if you're in Perth, you can do day trip to Fremantle, Rottnest, Swan, Rockingham, and Mandurah. Okay. So if you're in Perth, your one day would be the sightseeing in Perth combined with Swan River cruise. So it could be, say, Perth City Tour, could be the Optus Stadium, Mataguru, Fremantle, Swan Valley, Perth Mint. It all depends what is the interest. If you have more time, you can give 2 nights, 2 full day for Perth sightseeing. Then the next day would be the Rottnest Island, as I said, just 30 minutes from Perth by ferry. And then the last day you can give for Pinnacle Sunset and stargazing. So a 3 nights itinerary would look like this. I would suggest a minimum 3 to 4 nights in Perth would be an ideal situation if you are looking at sending your guests to Perth. Then we have this 5 nights itinerary wherein first 2 days you can give to Perth. Then, of course, we have Rottnest, then Pinnacles, and then there is a coach company called Australian Pinnacle Tours, which do a day trip to Margaret River region. If you want, you can give a day trip to Margaret River region. Another 5 nights itinerary, however, in place of Margaret River region, we have put Mandurah, or you can also add Rockingham. Starting would be the same Perth Fremantle or Perth Swan, Rottnest, Pinnacles, and Mandurah. Then we have a 6 nights itinerary wherein I would say standard Perth, Fremantle, Swan, Rottnest, Pinnacles. Then you do an overnight stay in Margaret to experience the lighthouse, to experience the cave, Bustleton Jetty, swimming with the dolphins, and also doing, if you want, the guest want, they can do just say 1 hour of hike and all that. So in a nutshell, this would be an ideal itinerary. However, if your guest would like to do places like Pink Lake, places like Shark Bay or Kalbarri, Geraldine. So these are the ones which are not in SIC. Whatever I have shown you, these itineraries, all these 4 itineraries, you can easily do in SIC. However, if they are heading down to the Esperance region or up to the Broome or to the Coral Coast region, we do not have SIC. Either it is self-drive or everything is on, either you take a flight or everything is on private. Cool. Okay. So my talking is done. If you guys have any question, please feel free to ask. However, I would also like to mention that what we have seen and experienced for WA is we have seen for a second timer to Australia is visiting Western Australia because we have the best part is you get 5 years multiple entry visa. So that is the benefit what you can avail, that since you have a valid 5 years multiple entry visa on your second trip, you can come to Perth. Or if you want, you can do Perth and then combine it with Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, whichever you want to do. Also, You can combine Perth with Singapore, Perth, Singapore, because Singapore, you must be aware that we have 96 hours VFTA, visa free travel facility. So you can combine Singapore and Perth. You can also combine Malaysia and WA because it's visa free travel in Malaysia. So, or another option would be from Bali because Bali to Perth is just 3 hours by flight. So these are the different permutation and combination what you can give to your clientele. I'll stop here and let me know if you have any questions. One last thing is about the Indian food. Yes, the Indian food is very much available in WA. We do have Indian restaurants, so you don't have to worry about anything. Vegan, Indian, everything is available. Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen. And okay, the first question I can see is how to travel to
Oh,
medicals.
Rashmi,
Yes, please.
thank you so much for this fascinating and inspiring presentation. I think you have given all the proof points, to prove that Western Australia is like a world, of course, within a state. And I'm sure our audience must be buzzing with a lot of questions now. So everyone, let's open the floor for a quick Q&A session. And please feel free to put your questions, share your questions in the chat box, and we'll take them one by one with our speaker. Also, please don't hold back because I think this is your only chance to get the advice from directly from the destination specialist themselves. So we are open here. Mention all the questions. We'll take them. Till that, I'm gonna share my screen and you will see a QR code. That QR code is to download our Travel Bites app. Only there you'll be able to access the quiz. So while taking the Q&A session, you will have enough time to download the app. Rashmi, just allow me a moment. Let me share my screen, then we'll move on to the Q&A session. Okay?
Sure, no worries.
Okay. So I hope the screen is visible to all. Uh, Yes, let's move on to the Q&A session. Bobita Das, please share the details as we hardly have any DMC suggested. Bobita, that is the only reason that we are having this masterclass. Please, everyone, telling in advance, don't worry about the presentation or all the information that you are getting here in the webinar because after once it's completed, we will share a follow-up emailer with you all. I know it gets a little overwhelming to grasp all the knowledge at the same point. So you all will have the recording of the session and there only we'll reveal the winners of the quiz as well. So,
Yeah,
yes,
I think I'm not sure how much time we have. I'll just quickly take the questions because
sure,
because we do have quiz also.
sure.
So, somebody asked about how to travel to Pinnacles. So, as I said, for Pinnacles, we have a coach company called Australian Pinnacle Tours. We have Luminar Tour, which take the day trip to Pinnacle. So you don't have to worry about anything. It's just 2 hours drive from Perth. You leave in the morning and by evening, depending upon you're doing the sunset or you're doing the stargazing, you can come back to Perth. Uh, hmm.
We have a question here asked by Ajay Sharma that why can't tourists go into the
It's
pink
a okay. So because it's a chemical formation because of which the water is pink, and hence it is not a natural thing because of the algae formation the water is pink and hence you cannot go inside the pink lake if the water is completely pink enough. However, if the water is just to your I would say shoe level, then you can go, not even feet level, shoe level, then you can go inside the pink lake. Can
We
in
have a
India,
question.
I'll just quickly just hang on, Prachi. I'll just
Yes, sure.
quickly how to get the visa. I'm sorry, you have to check with your embassy consulate or with your visa office. I think I'm sure you all must be selling Sydney and Melbourne. It is just the same Australia visa which is applicable to WA. Mm, I can share the list of festivals and events, or if you want, I can. How should I? If I have to send message to everybody, how should I put that one, Prachi?
Just a second, let me allow you.
Yeah, yeah. So I would suggest that you go to the website called westernaustralia.com. Therein, we have a list of events and festivals which we have throughout the year. So, depending upon which time of the year your guests are going, you can just do that. I think I'll just.
Rashmi, you will see, you type the answer there. If not,
Okay,
it will be not sent from your end.
sure.
I'll share the same.
Okay. So please visit westernaustralia.com and then you can find all the information. I would say TBO would be your best DMC or ITO. Please connect TBO for all the ITO stuff because these itineraries are very much with TBO and hence this entire thing was organized with TBO. Talking about the cost, it all depends upon the kind of a property you are staying, uh, depending upon a three-star, chalet, or I would say a wine resort. So it all depends upon the budget and depending upon the season also. If it is a peak season, then obviously the rate of the property would be high. Uh, See, please do not ask me about hotel deals and all. TBO is the best answer for that. They will give you the best deal. Average cost, everything. TBO will give you the best deal. Regarding this 96 hours VFTF, I'm sure you, since you guys must be dealing with Singapore, yes, you can just go on the check with the Singapore or you just do a Google on VFTF, 96 hours VFTF for Singapore. That is visa free travel facility. You don't require a visa for that. Uh, um, then there was. Yeah, so the driving license with the chip is very much acceptable, and you carry the same driving license for WA also. If you're a guest, I'm sure because see, whatever is applicable to Sydney and Melbourne will surely be applicable to WA. So a self-drive itinerary of Sydney and Melbourne is same like a self-drive itinerary for WA. Mm. Regarding the slide, I think Prachi, you can share this presentation, yeah, with them.
Of course.
Hmm. Okay, so the best time to visit WA would be, I would say, as I said before, also throughout the year you can visit WA. It is just that Feb and March, yeah, Jan, Feb, March becomes a bit hot, say 38 to 40 degrees, but it all depends from which part of India you are traveling to WA. So it's very pleasant. Still throughout the year. Regarding the coastal region, again, is throughout the year. However, only up in the north, it's from April to October. Otherwise, throughout WA, Margaret River, everything is throughout the year. I didn't understand this question actually, which says, are you planning any restriction in the city of Perth for tourists? Why will I do a why will we plan a restriction if we want to promote tourism? Tourism cannot flourish with restrictions. Okay, festivals done. Yeah, you can provide a chauffeur-driven car. You can just check. There are many car companies wherein you have you get the chauffeur-driven car. So yeah, that is very much available. Private transfers are available. If not, then you can take the cab or the self-drive. Everything is possible.
Also, everyone asking for the hotels and the prices. Please, you can go and check our portal. You will get the best deals out there, of course.
Uh, hmm, Okay.
People, you still
Okay.
have time. Any more questions you have? Someone has wrote Joshua. What about the local food?
Yeah. Local food is very much available. Whichever restaurant you go. Besides the local, we have Southeast Asian, Japanese, Korean, Indian, local. Everything is available. You don't have to. That is very much available. It's a typical Uh, Veg food. Yeah, as I said, we do have veg restaurants. If you want vegetarian food, we do have Indian restaurants. You don't have to worry about the Indian food. As I suggested the names also, the Balti, Soma, Two Fat Indians. So these are the Indian restaurants, even in kiosk kind of a setup wherein they have ready-made rice, dal, and bhaji. You get that. Halal food, yes, we do get halal food because Malaysia is one of the top five source markets for WA. So yes, halal food is very much available.
Rashmi, Tiara has asked, no, it's not,
Hmm.
Neha has asked, what would you prefer, a self-driven car or if you would prefer to hire one?
It all depends upon your clientele. If they know how to drive, if they have time in hand, then I would personally, I would say self-drive is an amazing experience to do in WA because the roads are obviously although we are in India, but yeah, the roads in WA are amazing. Plus, the best part is the language because all the signages are in English, so you don't have to worry about anything. On top of it, Aussies are amazing people. They are so hospitable. You don't have to worry. You just stop your car and you just ask for direction. Also, they will help you. So I would say I have seen guests who are doing self-drive from Perth to up in the till the Exmouth region and down in the Esperance. I have not heard of any complaints, so I'm sure it is good. I have done till Margaret River region and till Geraldine self-drive. So yeah, you can
So Deepak have a question that if they go ahead with the self-driven car, so
hmm.
is there any issues with the parking?
So most of these places like hotels and all they have parking. So you in the restaurants like yeah, you don't have to worry about unless until you're in the city area. I would not suggest people doing self-drive in Perth. You do not self-drive in Perth. You
Okay.
take a Swan taxi or you hire a car, but you do not self-drive in Perth. From Perth, if you're going to Swan Valley, you can self-drive. If you're going to Fremantle, still you can self-drive because Fremantle has 4 to 5 levels of parking just bang in the middle of the city. So yeah, you can do that, but not in Perth.
Okay, so except Perth, you would prefer people that
Yes.
they can go with the
Yes,
self-drive car.
yes, definitely. Because in Perth also you have this buses, as I said, bus services are good, so you can do
Mhm.
that. Hmm. Yeah. Anything we left missed out? I'll just go
I
through the
think
questions.
most of the questions we have covered. I think Deepak, I think of course the tourist will be a lot more welcoming. Rashmi, if you would like to answer this, that how are the generally tourists welcomed by locals?
See, I so as I said, the Aussies are very hospitable, and plus, since you are a you I don't know how to answer this because see, you are on your own itinerary.
Well,
You are on your own itinerary. You're not visiting anybody's home. So you're on your own itinerary and you enjoy your trip. Yeah. Just don't create chaos for the fellow or the residents of that state. I would
hmm.
suggest that because of late we have seen Indians doing what all things when they travel. I just saw one question which I wanted to take. I'm just
Okay, I think okay. Vinay Athla has
yeah,
said
good.
that he
Hmm.
has read that the best coffee you get in Perth. Is that true, Rashmi?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can get coffee, yeah, coffee, wine, everything you can get. Sure, if just one thing, yeah, and it's a best friend. So, I think most of the questions we have taken.
Yes.
Mm.
Anyone?
Jain
Uh,
food, yeah. So for Jain food, I would say if you are traveling, please make sure you tell your tour organizer that you want such kind of is your specification. Hotels like Crown, Duxton, even this one, Novotel and all, they can make an arrangement for that. So in the hotels, you can make sure that you just let them know in advance that we have XYZ number of clientele who are Jain, and it should be like without whatever it is, garlic, onion, whatever it is, you can make sure you tell in advance so that they can prepare for that. Hmm. The three best cave would be Jewel Cave, Mammoth Cave, and Ilgi Cave. Jewel Cave, Mammoth Cave. You will not visit three caves. You will go in only in one cave. I know that. Yeah. So Nilgi Cave, Jewel Cave, Mammoth Cave. Because besides the cave, there are lighthouse in Margaret River region, which you should do.
So
So,
here's the answer, Nidhi.
mhm. Okay. Okay. I think some questions are here. Restriction car. Okay.
Rashmi, are there any suggestions for the honeymoon clients?
I would say Rottnest Island. It's a must when you are on a honeymoon. Also, I would suggest the Pink Lake. That would be a nice site to do the entire drive from Perth to Geraldine to Kalbari and in between the Pink Lake. That would be an amazing drive. Or if you want, you can also visit the Esperance region for the honeymoon. Honeymoon per se, yeah. So you can take an overnight stay in Rottnest Island for your honeymoon clientele. Yes.
I think, of course, personally, I would also suggest like
Yeah.
experiencing the Pink Lake with a partner would be one of the
Partner
best
would be an
decisions
amazing. In fact,
that
if you
way.
want, you can do the skydive in Rottnest if you want to do the adventure, or you can do the hot air balloon in Avon Valley, which is just 1 hour drive from Perth. We have a place called Avon Valley wherein you can do the hot air balloon. So it all depends upon what you want to do with your partner.
Yes, what kind of experience you want. If you're a
Experience
little
you.
too adventurous, you can go for
Yeah,
skydiving. If a
exactly.
less, exactly, if a less adventurous, you can go for hot air balloon. Or if you want that romantic drive, then you can go for Pink Lake, of course.
Yeah, in fact, I would say stargazing is also beautiful thing to do with your partner. Like you just
Just
staring.
laying down,
Yeah.
looking out to the stars. Amazing,
Yes.
amazing experience, of
And
course.
then you can sing that song. No, no, no. Okay, so all this car thing. So we have Avis Australia, who has the car rental. So see, I believe we have that. Okay, so I believe you guys are the tour operators. So you guys have to arrange the car for your clientele. Am I getting it correct? If Neha, if I'm getting it correct, just let me know that you are asking me that if a tour operator will arrange. Obviously, you are a tour operator. You have to arrange car for your clientele. So it is Avis Australia is popular. Hertz is there. So you can do from the airport itself. From the airport itself, you can hire the car and do the booking.
So, Mazed is asking if it feels safe
Yeah,
to
obviously
swim
you are
along
not
with.
swimming. So you
Exactly.
have to maintain a distance even when you are swimming with the gentle whale sharks. Point number one. Point number two, I would say what I've seen and been told that even if you are swimming with the dolphins, you will not go to the dolphins. You will just swim in that area. And then if the dolphins get accustomed to your presence, they will come and play with you. Because in Australia, they are more worried about the marine life and they are very much, they took all the precautions. So you make sure that they make sure that the marine life is not in danger. And if they want to make sure the marine life is not in danger, by default, the human life is safe. So all those precautions are being taken, and hence that's why I said you have to book very much in advance. It is not that everybody can come and just do the booking on the spot. No, you have to book in advance because they have a limited availability for that area for that day. Yeah. I think we are just repeating the same questions now.
Yes.
Let's go to the
Quiz
quiz.
now. Let's move ahead. Okay, so Rashmi, as discussed, I'll share the screen. You can take on to the questions then. Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you, Prachi. Thank you.
Just allow me a moment now.
Sure. Anybody wants to do the recap? I can do the recap for. Okay, so no time for recap. We have the questions. Hmm. Wow, this looks interesting. Okay.
Sorry everyone for stopping the sharing right now. Okay, just in advance, please don't mention the answers in the chat box. People who are playing the quiz in the Travel Bite apps will only be considered because I see people going on with the answers on the chat box. So, also one more rule. So, the quiz will be fastest fingers first. So, you have to click on the right answers in the fastest time that you can. Okay, now I'm going to.
Have we started? Okay. So the first question is Western Australia shares the time zone which two other countries? Malaysia, Singapore, or Malaysia and Singapore, or Malaysia, Singapore, both? Yay! I'm happy. I'm happy. At least 77% of people know it is both. So it is 2.5 hours ahead of India, and we share the same time zone as Singapore and Malaysia. Yeah. The global marketing campaign of Tourism Western Australia is Walking on a Dream, Good Day Australia, Drive the Dream. So step outside of the everyday into a dream in Western Australia. I think my logo is very much visible on the back of my screen. Okay. Oh, great. Thank you. So the right answer is Walking on a Dream. Still, I would say I'm just happy. At least this is fine. The next question is states only World Heritage listed building and the only World Heritage listed site in the Perth metropolitan area is Optus Perth Main Fremantle Prison. I think I mentioned that it has a history. It was built by the convict for the convict. Yes, that is the Fremantle Prison. Great. Name the marsupial found only in Rottnest Island, which is also known as the happiest animal, kangaroo, wombat, quokka. You have to take a selfie with him. Which one? Oh, I was expecting everybody to say quokka, but it's okay. More than 75, it's fine. Next. Which is the premium wine region in Western Australia? Swan Valley, Margaret River region, or Kalbarri? I think I had mentioned it is just 2.5 hours drive from Perth, and the premium wine region is yay, Margaret River region. Yes, and Swan Valley is the oldest wine region. Still fair enough. Still fair enough. So we come to the last question, which is the UNESCO World Heritage listed site wherein you can swim with the gentle whale sharks, you can swim with the humpback whales, and this is the longest fringing reef, which is that Esperance, Rottnest Island, or Ningaloo Reef. Okay, so the answer is Ningaloo Reef. Cool. Okay, so here we are at
Okay,
the end.
everyone.
I think just a second, Prachi, I just saw one question. Okay. Sorry,
Yes,
I'll just take that question. Is there a
sure.
booking platform to book activities? So we do not, so there are sites like Agora, Expedia, Viter, and all that wherein you can book. However, I would suggest, since TBO is here, you can book all your experience, everything from TBO. You can also, most of the activities, you can just type the name of the activities and they will show the Australian operators based in Perth who are doing that thing. So you can go and book there. Say, for instance, if you are taking a ferry from Perth to Rottnest Island, okay? So there are different ferries which take the guest from Perth to Rottnest Island. So you can do the booking over there. So there is no one platform for all. You, for each and every different activities, you have to go to that specific operator and do the booking. Yes.
Okay, I think people as told in advance that we will not be sharing out the winners right away. You'll get that soon. And I think Rashmi, people were our audience were very active, not
Yeah.
100%, but they got answers correct to a very good extreme, you know.
Yes. Yes. That's why I'm also happy. Like, oh, yeah, at least if it is more than 50%, I'm happy.
Exactly. I was so happy to see that. And the only, I think, disappointment was majorly for that quokka question because such a cute animal. How can you not click on the right
Right
answer for
answer.
that? I think, but still, 88% people answered the correct answer, so it was great.
Yes, yes.
And of course, before we wrap up, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to our wonderful partner, Rashmi. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise, for helping us explore the magic of Western Australia today. And of course, I think a very huge thank you to you all as well, because this incredible session was only successful because you all have joined us here. It was really engaging. You have been participating so actively. It was really great. And we can't see to have you again for another session. Till that, I would say happy selling, and you have more options to create more unforgettable journeys and itineraries for your clients.
Yeah.
Before we end the session, Rashmi, if you have few closing lines.
Yeah, so thank you, everybody. Thank you for being attentive. I hope I don't make anybody sleep after that lunch, and then for exact after lunch, the 4 o'clock session makes everybody sleep. I
Of
tried
course
to
not.
keep you all awake. Thank you so much for attending the session. Thank you so much, TBO Academy, for hosting this. And if I can just read out my email ID is rashmi.pradhan@westernaustralia.com. If there is any query, please feel free to give me a call, or you can just drop in your message. If I can you just put my email ID? Is possible, Prachi,
Yes,
how we should do
sure.
that? Or I can just, yeah, so this is my email ID, if at all it is visible. It's rashmi.pradhan@westernaustralia.com. You can connect to me. If there is any query, you can just drop a message or just give me a call on this number. I'll be more than happy to help you all. Okay. I think this is
The email
good.
ID is also there in the chat box.
Okay, great, great, great. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone, happy selling. It was great having you all here. Thank you so much, Rashmi. It was great being like you being here with us for all the exciting news and information.
Thank you,
Happy selling.
Prachi. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, bye.